see what's behind me? My backyard is getting ready to get a major redo because that huge tree, that oak right behind me, who knows how tall it is. I'll give you a better image here in a second. It is leaving, and we're getting some branches trimmed as well from other big giant trees. So I'm going to have more sun back here, and I'm anxious to kind of redo the backyard, and I'm going to take you along. And that is the tree, the oak right there. It keeps going up and up and up, way up there. Let's see. It does still have a teeny weeny leaf, leaves still on it, but for the most part that is a dead tree, and it has needed to come out for a wee bit. There are branches that continually fall nonstop from it, as well as like I call it like a bark litter that kind of flies around, ends up on my deck. Definitely needs to come out. But when it does, it's going to be so nice to have just a wee bit more light. I'm hoping to get this branch here cut as well, and then that giant one right there is coming off as well, and that's going to open up that sky there for a wee bit and help all through here. This huge oak has needed to come out for quite a while now, but the cost issue has been problematic. So I'll tell you at the end of the video how much it costs to get all 3.5 trees of these worked on. But first, I need to get all of these camellia planters moved. And in order to do that, I had to do some research on a dolly, or I think they call them a hand truck as well. I used to have a plant mover from, where did we get that? Sharper Image. My husband got it one Christmas. It broke, like 1 month after the warranty, it broke. So I was looking into something super duper hefty duty, and I found something. I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. So I'm trying to figure out, where am I going to move all of these big planters? I got to move the chairs. I've got to move any planters that could be in their way. They're going to bring this huge machine back into my yard. Here is the dolly I ended up going with. I love it. It was $99 at Tractor Supply. While I was moving the camellias, I realized, wow, look, we have what's called a seed pot. And inside of there will be a bunch of camellia seeds. So I will be harvesting that. I haven't shown you this tree yet, but we need to get the whole right side of this tree trimmed up. That's over top of our roof. I'm going to ask about this branch that wasn't in the contract. This is the very tip of the oak there, and you can see I completed moving everything, got everything moved. I do have a lot of plants in the ground in my shade garden collection. I'm really worried about them, but here it is. It's Monday. The next morning they managed to get that huge truck into my backyard, and it's got a bucket because it wasn't safe for them to climb that tree. It was not safe. Very fragile. Someone could have gotten hurt. Normally they just climb, start at the top, work their way down. So they're using the bucket instead, and they're doing the same thing. Starting at the top, working their way down. There's a lot of workers involved. You know, some are running out here to the front yard to put branches, limbs into the chipper, as you can see there. But those big logs that are nice, they actually take those with them, and I'm sure they sell them for a nice profit. But I wasn't worried about that because we just want to get this done. We want our house to be safe. We want people in our yard to be safe, our neighbors. You can see the chainsaw action here going on. It's really fascinating to watch. And I did a lot of kitchen chores so I could watch out my kitchen window as to how they do this and the methods they use. Someday I might want to fell my own trees when I have my own property. But because of our location now, we live so close to neighbors, you have to have the professionals do it. And they were licensed and bonded. And I thought we got a really fair price. You can see, watch here. He's getting ready to push it. And there it goes. And they've got straps on there. They're able to control the fall. Really didn't have a lot of thuds like I hear with some of the other companies around here. Here is the after. What do you think? It totally looks so different. But the absolute best part is, look, other than the safety factor, is that I have a huge pocket of sun now in my backyard from like, say 1 to 3, where I didn't before because of the branches. So that took 4 hours. I forgot to say this tree we had completely trimmed on our side because it was hanging over our chimney. Let's see the damage back here. So the tree is completely gone. Tonto is playing in the mulch from the grinding. Hi, buddy. The branch over there got trimmed, but not as much as I was expecting, but still looks better. And then I actually asked them to come out here before they left and cut that right, where is it? Right there. And that has opened up this space so much. Now the negative is that a lot of my plants I had growing here, ferns, heuchera, they are like dead. And it looks like this root got cracked. Now I don't know which tree that belongs to, but that could cause issues. So lots of plants buried and or demolished, destroyed. A lot of cleanup to go here. But it really makes a big difference. I'm really glad it was done. So I'm gonna have to move all that, I guess, but I'm gonna use it to level out some of the erosion that I've had over the years. And there's like holes in the ground here and there from my dog digging up bulls. But look at this difference. And now this space is open to get a little bit more light for a short time. And I've got so much work to do to get all this put back together. And maybe that'll be another video. That's my experience with getting a few trees trimmed and one huge giant tree taken down. So I know y'all want to know how much did it cost. Now remember, that tree was huge and it was dead and it was dangerous. So that made the price more expensive. The first quote we got on Monday of 2 weeks ago, $6,800. It might have been $6,850, which is a lot of money that we don't have. And so my husband went to work the next morning and talked to a friend who had just had some trees done. He recommended a company he's used multiple times. They quoted $2,150 for the exact same services. So it really does help to get, you know, word of mouth. That is the biggest thing from this video. If you take away word of mouth, recommendations of people that have had good service done and at a reasonable cost. So that's it. We paid, well, I added on that $50 job. And so the total was $23.50 for an extra job added that the first people didn't give us a quote on. And the first quote was $68.50. So that is almost enough money for a check I need to write today for my daughter's tuition. Our part, what we have to pay right now for this month. And yeah, very happy with the service. So glad that I've got a little bit more light, but the safety was the main thing. So we really needed that to come down. It was not safe at all. So glad it's done. I'm just so glad. So come back. We're going to work on the backyard this fall, get it looking really pretty and ready for next spring.